A customer walks in with a cheap online fob. They think they just saved 35 bucks. But if that part fails, you could be losing 75 minutes of your day. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive business risk for automotive locksmiths. Who actually pays when a customer-supplied part fails?
We've all been there, right? A customer proudly walks into your shop or meets your van, clutching that cheap fob. In their mind, they've hacked the system, saving that $35 on parts by bypassing your professional inventory. They hand it over, fully expecting a quick, cheap programming job.
But here's the reality check. If that unverified fob fails, the math flips on you incredibly fast. That single failed attempt can easily burn 75 minutes of your labor. You've got the intake, the service attempt, the awkward explanation, documenting the failure, and maybe even rolling a second truck. On top of that, it creates total warranty confusion and really damages the customer trust you've worked so hard to build.
So before you even touch that fob, you have to ask yourself a foundational business question. If this thing fails, who is the customer going to blame? Are they blaming the crappy parts they bought, the car's computer, or you, the professional? Unless you establish firm boundaries right up front, I guarantee you are the one who will be held responsible.
Section 1. The margin math and hidden variables.
Let's look at the huge disconnect here between the consumer and us professionals. To the customer, the plastic shell looks identical to their old one, so obviously it should work. But shop reality, it's a whole different ballgame. Year, make, and model just aren't enough anymore. A 2020 fob might look exactly like a 2017 model on the outside, but the internals, the frequencies, and the immobilizer chips could be completely incompatible. And hey, a lot of people, even some newer techs, think a matching FCC ID is like a golden ticket. Honestly, it's not. Yes, it's a regulatory identifier that's great for identifying the transmitter family, but it is absolutely not complete proof of vehicle fitment. It doesn't guarantee a match for the immobilizer, the region, or the specific trim level of that car.
Section 2. Supplier policies impact your margin.
Okay, let's talk about where that part actually came from, because it directly impacts your margin. When you source an OEM or refurbished OEM part from a reputable seller, you get guaranteed fitment and a professional warranty. It protects you. But random online aftermarket fobs? You're dealing with wildly varying quality, and if it doesn't work, they can stick the buyer with massive restocking fees. We're talking 30 to 50%, and there is absolutely zero labor protection for you, the technician.
Literally, listen to this actual quote from a major online key supplier's return policy. We do not refund programming costs in case of unsuccessful programming by a local technician. Wow, they are making it crystal clear. The supplier is protecting their margin. If you don't set your own upfront policy, their rules guarantee you'll be the one eating that labor cost.
Moving on to Section 3. The four-way decision logic.
So how do we actually handle this on the ground? We highly recommend teaching your team this simple four-part decision logic. It perfectly establishes your warranty boundaries and manages expectations. The outcomes are shop-sourced, attempt only, pause and verify, or decline and refer. Let's break exactly what these look like.
Outcome 1 is the shop-sourced verified part. This is the gold standard, right? You control the part source, you do the compatibility checks, you dictate the warranty language, and your quote is confident. It's the safest route by far for both your margin and the customer's long-term satisfaction because you can stand behind the entire job.
Then we have Outcome 2, the customer-supplied attempt-only job. This is where you agree to proceed, but under strict, documented conditions. The customer has to explicitly understand, before you ever connect a diagnostic tool to their dashboard, that your diagnostic and labor fees will be charged, even if their supplied fob fails. You are selling your professional time and expertise, not a guaranteed outcome for a part you didn't even supply.
Outcome 3 is where you hit the brakes. Pause for verification. When a customer brings a part and it's just too ambiguous, you've got to stop and confirm the details. Remember, year, make, and model are never enough. You need to check the exact part number, the FCC ID, frequency, button layout, the emergency blade, condition, seller terms, and current tool or OEM documentation. Do the homework before you commit.
And finally, Outcome 4. Decline or refer. Look, this can be a really tough one for newer locksmiths to grasp, but knowing when to protect your time and reputation by declining a job is a literal superpower. If the part is clearly wrong, the authorization is missing, or the customer's expectations are totally unreasonable about the risk, just walk away, decline it, or refer them out to the dealer.
Which brings us to Section 4. Remember your workflow.
Logic is great in theory, but actually executing it consistently every single day requires a solid system. That's where Autosmith Pro comes in, as your shop's memory layer. It's built to capture exactly these intake decisions. It logs the source, FCC ID, part number, the customer supplied status, warranty expectations, your quote math, tool coverage notes, and crucially, what happened last time. It ensures you never have to relearn the same costly lesson twice.
Seriously, using AutoSmith Pro equips your business with a completely repeatable way to understand the job, the risk, and the math before you even put the van in drive. You transition from technical guesswork to executing solid business judgment. You can check it out and set it up for your shop over at autosmithpro.com/app. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on before taking your next customer supplied job. Would you really risk your time, your hard-earned reputation, and your comeback rate on a fob the customer bought somewhere else without a rock-solid policy? Get those boundaries in place, verify the details, and protect your margin. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you next time.